Hi, fire starter people. This is Carrie at Wooing Nature, and this is Elements, your reading for your group, for your clan, for your pod. And this is for all of those people who are born under the fire signs of Aries or Leo or Sagittarius, okay? So we have been talking about relationships for those of you who are following your Signs and Wonders reading for your zodiac. You will know that we talked about relationships in February and we talked about how we're relating to each other or how each sign is relating to the people around them, and then also who's around them that they are relating to and what they need to do about that. And so I decided for this period, and this period is from new moon to new moon. So this is February 11th all the way to March 13th. So this is just an expansion of that theme. I wanted to really delve a little bit more into how we are relating. And so I have pulled the alphabet for lovers. This is Orna Ben Shoshan's artistic work. And I will be reading from there, but I'll also read from Zillich Tarot just to get the detailing in for you. So we are talking about relationships today. We are talking about how to create balanced relationships or how to achieve balance in a relationship. We're also talking about expression, self expression, communication, and of course, you cannot talk about relationships without talking about boundaries. So we'll get into that part of the reading a little bit later. But I am going to start with the alphabet for lovers. Now, this can be related to a romantic relationship, but it can also apply to any kind of relationship, familial relationships, parents, children, loved ones, co-workers, just wherever this suits for you or wherever it fits for you. Okay, so the card for you all fire people is a card that means fear of being left alone. So for some of you, you are fearing abandonment or you're fearing being left alone. This comes in with the number six, and number six is a number that we tend to associate with family. So for some of you, it may be about a family situation that doesn't feel stable, or it could just be with your partnership. So I'm going to read from the text the keynotes about what this may be bringing up for those of you who are coupled up. And then I'll also read a segment for those of you who are single. Okay. So this talks about learning through difficulties and limitations. Okay. A relationship that started due to fear of loneliness. So for some of you, you got into your relationship because you just didn't want to be alone and not necessarily because you fell in love. You bond with somebody because of a desire to fill an emotional void and build a protective home. This union develops into a steady and comforting shelter and provides a calming state of permanence. Even if the relations are frigid, you survive it with the belief that it's best for the kids. Intimacy may be abandoned in favor of career and financial consolidation. That does happen a lot in families where you're raising children. You want the best for them, and so the focus becomes on the finances and not on the romances, okay? It's difficult. You know that it'll be difficult to start everything from scratch again, so you can serve the existing relationship and to ensure that nothing falls apart. So you'll never find yourself in a state of deprivation. When the marital system does not provide the closeness and intimacy that you need, though, you may feel as if you died when you're really alive. Okay? One of you may be full of contradictions and tend to extremism. Unnecessary pride can make it hard to forgive, and the relationship suffers the alienation and the polarization. So, in essence, you end up creating the situation that you didn't want. Okay? So, you didn't want to be alone, so you stayed in the relationship, and then you feel alone in the relationship. Okay? Both spouses tend to lie to themselves and fake emotions to convey that everything is fine. Mm. All right, fire people. Before I go on to the singles, I just think we just need to marinate. Okay. For those of you who are dealing with this situation and you are in a long-term relationship, I just want to say to you that there are ways around this. And the way is through communication. Every partnership is different. Every relationship is different. Every marriage is different. The people in the marriage are different. And so if you're there and you have a family and it feels like I can't move, the main thing is not to fake it, because that's going to make it worse. Okay. The thing is to communicate through that. The thing is to have that conversation first with yourself or with a professional, and then strategize about how to have the conversation with your spouse or with your partner or with your children's father or whoever this may be. Okay. But to pretend that everything is okay is a gracious waste of your energy and a gracious waste of time that could be spent creating reimagining the relationship the way that it needs to be in order for everyone to be satisfied. And that takes a lot of maturity, and it takes a lot of self-reflection, and not just self-reflection, but unbiased self-reflection and non-judgmental self-reflection on both of your part. I really recommend that you do some kind of relationship therapy or relationship counseling. You can go through the relationship map with Wooing Nature. We do work with couples in relationship with each other, but we do it intuitively and allowing you all to have space to communicate. But I think it's interesting because when you look at this image, it's the mouths, the bottom part of both partners is missing. So the communication is missing. You're not saying what's really going on, neither one of you. And then you're just kind of going along. But look, it's empty. You feel like you're missing something here. And then this person's got this fancy coat on, but he's just a stick. He's just a relic of himself. Okay? So fear of being left alone. Got to deal with that. All right. If you're single, it says you may link with someone who behaves as if he loves you honestly, but in fact, his intentions are selfish. His, her, them, they, those. Okay. It says they may be possessive, tight-fisted, and emotionally blocked. You need to look closely into this person before you give them your heart. Okay. All right. That is crystal clear. I don't need to elaborate there. All right, I'm going to the tarot now. This is where the details happen. Again, we're talking about our fire people, fire sign people, people born under fire signs, those people who have lots of planets in fire signs, those people who are starters, innovators, those people who like to keep it moving, adventurous souls. Looking at love relationships, how to have a balanced relationship, how to express oneself in a relationship, and the relationship boundaries. All right, so we've got the Knight of Swords. This is the first one up. This is about communication. This is about coming out of the fog. This is about not being afraid to do so. It's understanding your truth. It's understanding what you know about the relationship. Okay. We've got the Queen of Discs here, which is something of a pragmatic nature, things of a practical nature. Again, if we're talking about people in relationships that aren't going well because of the fact that they're trying to keep a stable home, because they're trying to maintain certain practical things, their house, their family structure, keeping the kids together, that kind of thing. That's all Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is the mother of the home. So somebody is heart is deeply invested in that, and they're looking at things from a pragmatic standpoint, but not from a feeling standpoint. So therefore, you have created that environment for yourself with this 10 of this. Some of you are sitting in the catbird seat financially. You're doing very well financially. You got all the accoutrements. The house is nice. You just renovated your kitchen. The kids are getting ready for college, or, you're saving and you've invested all of that. But there is an aspect of yourself that is not being freed, that is not freed. Okay? And we're talking about expression here. We're talking about being able to express yourself as you truly are with your partner, in a partnership with the person that you're with. And right now, you're not doing any expression at all, or you're not expressing anything that's the truth. So, like, how is that going to serve you? How is your third chakra? How is your solar plexus going to handle that? Talk about some stomach aches and some heartburn and some acid indigestion and some GERD. Okay? You need to talk. You need to say what's real. You need to say what's real. All right, so we had the Emperor coming in reverse. That means that your structure, your environment, your structure is not as stable as you need it to be. Okay? You're focused on the stability of the situation. You're focused on the material aspect of it. What you can gain together, what you can have together, that kind of thing. But it's just not, the structure that you have is not providing the structure that you need. Okay? This is control. That's 4 discs. That's why the Emperor is in reverse, because what it is that it just becomes a mechanism for controlling what's happening, instead of it really being about creating a structure for your children, or a structure that you both, being the partners, have to live in. Because, we think about creating structures for the children, but you got to live in the structure too. You have to live in it. It's not just a building. It's not just a house. It's representative of your spiritual structure in relationship. If you've built a home together, then that home is a symbol of what you are doing together, what you are raising up together. And if you're inside of a structure or you have created a structure that's really about controlling the narrative or controlling the people so that the narrative remains, then structure's not as strong as you think it is. So we have the Knight of Cups coming in here, and that's where the love is. That's you expressing your feelings. That's you expressing your true emotions, and it not just being about, what you're doing, or it's not just about putting food on the table, or getting the bills paid, or making sure there's a roof over it. And those things are important. There's no doubt about it. Those things are important, but they can't override your ability to relate to each other as a couple, because that's where the fall apart. Things can fall apart very easily that way. So get to the truth. Get to the meat of it. That's what the cards are asking you to do. I'm getting that you also need to spend some time working on your 7th chakra. You need to work on your crown chakra. And then, of course, the solar plexus chakra showed up for you too in this reading. So you need to connect your crown, which is your higher spiritual nature, with your will center for this, because you're going to have to raise up your will vibration. Because what you've been doing is tamping down by going along to get along and not saying anything. You've been squelching your expression. You've been pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down. So this has to come up. Your will has to come up. And in order to do that, you need to do that through your 7th chakra. So meditation, you're going to have to meditate to bring your energy up. Meditate with the intention of bringing your energy up. Meditate with the intention of being able to see what needs to be seen in order for you to balance your relationship and in order for you to communicate the new rules and the new structure that's not about control, okay? Or trying to control a narrative. All right, anything else for my fire folk? Okay. And so I feel like with this Ace of Discs, I feel like when you do that, fire people, when you do really get a handle on that, you really wrap your mind and your focus around that, and you start to heal that place, or you start to deal with that, then I feel like everything will come together for you. I feel like you'll have what you need, and you'll also hopefully be able to bridge that emotional gap that has been created because of being overly focused on the practical issues, or the pragmatic things, or things that don't feed the two of you. Okay. All right, fire people, that is your reading for this period of time. We're going from new moon to new moon for the elements. Stay tuned, because in a couple of weeks, or a week or so, then we'll start again with your zodiac readings, with the signs and wonders reading for your zodiac. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wooing Nature for your daily dose of wooing nature. And as always, I hope you have a great day, and I hope you are relating well, and I hope that you have a fabulous life.